Come on, Brian. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
You look tremendous, dude.
You know, I showered this morning for you.
Man, I'm telling you what, Brian Barcelona, you get more handsome every day. What's with these new glasses, man? I love those things.
So let me tell you, there's this guy who was coming on a Monday morning, and he makes glasses, and so
Whoa.
he made these for me. They're prescription, but he restored them. They're from like France, 1900 or something, and he restored them and gave them as a gift. So,
Honestly, man, this is awesome, bro. I'm so thankful to be invited on this with you today. I'm so glad to see you.
I know, man. You too. Your wife has gave us such encouraging words. I don't know if Marcella told you, or if you knew, or Christy told you, but Christy called us. She pretty much had a word for our team, but she had a word for our baby. People, I don't even think she knew, but our baby was breached. And Christy said that the baby was going to turn when we prayed and laid hands. We prayed and laid hands, and we went in, and the baby has turned.
Whoa! Come on!
So
That's great.
We're just so encouraged. And my wife,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, my wife just yesterday, she's like, man, I've so desired a mom in the faith, and I just feel like that, like there's a mom with Christy. So we're so thankful for both you guys.
Whoa! When is the baby coming? What's the date?
I think it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. He's coming.
You're the best dad, Brian. It's crazy, man. What's going on at One Voice, man? I'm watching everything. You guys are on fire right now. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, our crews, they're doing a good job. We're doing, obviously, just our Mondays online, but we're doing a lot now for kids on Instagram, TikTok. So they're doing Connect Days via, Instagram. They're doing Jesus Clubs. Instagram.
Okay.
We have an incredible Jesus Club in Anaheim that's doing those messages with us. We kind of partner with them. They're on 6 high schools with us.
Okay.
And we just kind of really wanted to get, their feedback and kind of their faces on. And then we're doing discipleship, and it's been amazing, man. Then I think these leader talks have been really encouraging. We tallied up. We've reached, I think, in the last 2 weeks, about 15,000 on the leader, what we're doing now, leaders on Instagram. So it's been really cool, man, just getting different voices in. I was so excited to have you on today.
Whoa.
Yeah, you are.
Wow, 15,000 kids. 15,000 kids, Brian, during a pandemic.
It's crazy. I think that we.
That's a record. That's a record.
Yeah, we haven't tapped into our social presence much until now, like most people. But man, we're really excited for what's going on. So.
Man, the One Voice crew is like a gang of like revolutionary revivalists. They never quit. They just keep going. They keep going no matter what.
I was talking to one of the pastors with Elevation today. He might be jumping on, or he's on. And I was telling them how instrumental you've been and circuit riders have been to the formation of my culture. And I was telling them how you guys would walk people through joyful repentance. Up until that point, I thought I had to whip myself,
Oh, I know, the old ways.
Yeah, I had to walk on cobblestones on my knees. But you guys have really shifted that. And it's pretty cool. I asked my wife to prepare questions. She's been the one preparing questions for all the leaders I've been able to meet with.
Okay.
And so some of the things I'm going to ask you, it came from Marcella. So
whoa.
Good. And she's on.
All right. Okay, hi, Marcel. We love you. I love you. You're the best mom. Let's go.
She is. She's crushing it. So one of the things that Marcella wanted me to ask you is, how does it feel to see and be with Christy, your wife, now that she's been healed? And I don't know if you want to just share the story. Maybe people don't know, and we're going to re-air this on YouTube, but maybe they don't know your story. They don't know Christy's story. They don't know your wife's condition and what she had gone through for so many years. I don't know if you want to just share briefly on it.
Yeah, real briefly, Brian. Just everybody know, Christy had Lyme's disease 38 years. So I'm married dating 35 of the 38.
Wow.
So 1990s, 10 years, she was bedridden. The last 8 years, she was bedridden, but with seizures, unable to leave the house or walk or really read. Horrific. And really, there's no cure. It's only going to get worse. You're going to end up in a wheelchair. And so she She came to the Send in Orlando. She was there during the day, and nothing happened. She was filled with faith. But it's the end of the night, and Bill Johnson's there, and I said, Christy, let's see. Bill wants to pray for you. And Bill walked up and he just said, Lyme's disease is no big deal to God. And she just started leaning forward. You know, sometimes people go out on the ground, but she just leaned forward like there was a hand on her back. And for 15 minutes, what Bill said he saw was like water was just going through her body, cleansing the disease. And
Wow.
It was complete healing from Lyme's disease. The next morning we got up, we were in our Airbnb, and I went outside. There was a pool in the back, and Christy was in her pajamas running around the pool, just sprinting around the pool. I'd never seen her run in our entire relationship. And so I picked up my phone, I filmed it, and I sent it to Bill Johnson. I said, I cannot believe my wife. And every day is like that. Let me tell you the one funny story. Marcella loved this one. So I'm coming home, and, you know, my house is always loud. There's tons of circuit riders in it. It's wildness. But this one day I come home, and the music is so loud. It's Tasha Cobb's Break Every Chain. It's so loud, Brian. I can hear it in my car like a block and a half away. I'm kind of getting a little frustrated, like the circuit riders have taken it too far. I mean, the police are coming. And so I go, and there's no cars at the house, and I'm confused. I walk in, and I see Christy running around the house worshiping God.
Wow.
I'd never seen that in my life, and that's really what my life is like every day. I just sit there and go like, I don't know you. Who are you? What do you mean? So she's been praying for the sick now, and all these people are getting healed all the time. And I'm like, you know, when I pray for the sick, well, I mean, it's always encouraging. I don't get a lot of testimonies back, but she goes crazy, man. It's so fun having her around. She's like a wild woman. I'm just getting to know her.
I don't know. I think it was Christy that said that she didn't feel like it's a miracle that happened, but it's one that's happening every day because this is something that she couldn't do for so many years.
It's true, Brian. It's every day. It's just, and it's, you know, today she's doing a Brave Love Bible study. She's not been able to read the previous 7 years. And now she's on Zoom with all these wonderful women. I know her and Marcel are so close. They're cooking up plans. I know Christy goes, I think Brian's going to help Marcella start this women's movement called The Well, and it's going to touch women all over Los Angeles and the nation. And then I saw Thursday you guys are doing it. I was so excited.
Yeah, a lot of what we're doing came from that conversation with Christy. I know Christy had really hit on it. I think she said when she told Marcella, when your husband, like, not just like gives you a little bit of attention, like when he actually stops, what are you doing, and like focuses on you, which for me, you know me, Brian, I'm always running 1,000 miles in 10 different directions. And I feel like in this season, God has stopped me. And I think I've fallen more in love with my wife than I ever have. I've also bumped heads more with my wife than I ever have, being in the same house. You know, we got 2 little girls and a dog, and I've said sorry probably 1,000,000 times every day. There's even times I'm like, I'm sorry that you're in this house with me. You know, I just, the first 2 weeks were hard. I was in denial. I just ate a bunch of food. I played some PlayStation 4, and I was like, just didn't know what to do with myself. And then the breaking point was when I started looking at ministry pictures. I put on What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, and I just cried. And I was like, I just hate where I'm at right now. I hate being stuck in this house. But now I've really come to love what God is doing.
Yeah, come on, Brian. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I know I'll have another few more. I don't know if I can just keep asking you questions Marcella wrote.
Yeah, do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
This, she put here, what do you feel the Holy Spirit is putting his finger on in this season to really obtain freedom? So like as we're all kind of stuck at home, what are some areas of freedom that you felt God's been doing in your life and even in circuit riders? Like, what is he like? What do you feel like he's setting us free from as we're all stuck within our homes? Because I know circuit riders are pretty locked down too, right? They're in their homes and.
Oh yeah. I don't know. There's like probably the top 2 is the circuit riders. You know, we're always such wild ones. We're always out on the road. So he's bringing us into a place of rest. And we didn't even know what rest was. I mean, we did understand it. But now everyone's like, kind of has a greater peace that God's going to do the work. Or I think we sometimes had fear that if we didn't do enough, everything was going to fall apart. So definitely more peace and more, faith. And then the second thing, it just seems like everyone's having more fun. I don't know how to say it. It's like there's been so much more family and joy. Just stupid little things we're doing, memories. I don't know, just less seriousness. And because there's nothing we can do. So I think the second thing is our friendships are going super deep. Because, all we have each other on Zoom call all the time.
Yeah. We all should have bought stock in Zoom.
Oh, man. How many times are you on Zoom a day, Brian? I want to know.
Too many times. Too many times. We had to upgrade our account.
For 1,000 people to be on there
I know.
at the same time.
It's been insane. Yeah, I feel like the same has been here with One Voice. I feel like this has been a season where all the covenants we've made are now being tested. All the I don't know if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, but
I love that show.
There's this scene where if you've never watched it, you're not going to get it. But there's this scene where they're getting ready to go to war, and the guy goes, "Riders of Rohan, like oaths you have made, now fulfill them all." And in my mind, I was like, Riders of One Voice, oaths you have made, now fulfill them all. Like, 'cause we don't have the tangible ministry anymore. I don't have I feel like for me, I've detoxed from all the things that gave me worth. I can't boast in numbers of kids we're reaching in schools because we're not reaching any now in schools. Or I can't, literally one of my biggest highlights, I guess you would say, for many years was I always wanted to have the opportunity to be with Jesus Culture and share there. And the week we went into quarantine, I was supposed to speak at their Jesus Culture Youth Conference. And we go into quarantine. But I feel like even in that, God's like showing me like things that you've told me for so many years. Like, man, like it's not what you do, it's who you are. And I feel like I've been more than ever be able to get comfortable and like, this is I am. I'm learning so much. I'm a young husband. I'm jacked up in areas I'm figuring out. Like I'm frustrated at moments with the dog. This is me, and I can't escape me. So
it's so good, Brian. That's it. I love your dog, bro, but it's a little guy, isn't it? It's a
little girl.
It's a girl.
Yes, I heard that girl dogs were more loyal than male dogs, so I got a female.
I think they are. I don't know if that's true, but I got a girl dog. They're so loyal.
German Shepherd.
Yeah. I named it Kona after Andy Bird.
That's hilarious. Our girls named our dog Fire. That's her name.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. It's prophetic destiny is to cause fire.
Yes. So as you guys are watching, too, if you have any questions, throw them in. I'm going to ask another one here. Marcelo wanted to know, how do you feel like now we could effectively keep reaching people? I know circuit riders, your guys' tour, the first leg of it was insane. I think I read like something like 20,000.
Yes.
High schoolers. I mean, I don't even know how many thousands. University. You guys were like full-blown throttle. What do you guys feel like in this season you guys are doing that you would encourage other people to do to continue to reach people?
Yeah, what we've done is kind of gone old school. Like, we feel like people really want relationship now, where before, I don't know, like just public platform moments aren't working as well. So we've been calling students all over campuses. That's what I'd recommend is like get in contact with the people that you've been serving and find out how they're doing, how you can pray for them, and then connect them in like group meetings or WhatsApp or Zoom Bible studies. And everyone literally wants to be connected. We have over 300 leaders that are in groups of 10 Bible studies, and they love it. Where before, I don't want to be part of this. I'm too busy. But now people want to be part of that. So that's kind of the first thing. And then the second thing is we just try to create crazy content for our online audience and have as much fun with it as we can and be ourselves. And like you said, we're reaching more people online than we've ever that we've ever reached in person. I mean, we reached more people on the Carry the Love night than we did almost the whole tour
Wow.
in 6 weeks. So it seems like God's blowing on this online. I've seen your stuff; it's blowing up. I mean, sometimes you have interviews, 10,000 people are watching them. Was that normal before?
No, when we did Todd's, I think we had a total of 11,000 that came through the stream. I mean, I think like for us, what's been really cool is there's been these voices that, like you said, they speak on platforms. So like you've come in and spoken, and people have seen you on a platform, or Todd's spoken with us, or Lou. But I feel like being relational, like in these type of settings, Lou's in his house just rocking. I think
Yes.
2,000 on that one. Like we're seeing now more than ever, like you said, the connection with these leaders. It's different now because it's not from a stage. They're not going to come in and then dip out. They're in their homes or in the living rooms, and no one can say they're busy because everyone's just stuck at home.
No, it's so true, bro. So true, man. I got to tell you a story before you ask me the next question. I want to remind you of something amazing happened at One Voices. You had this awesome gathering at Cheon's church, and Todd White came, and afterwards you guys went out and baptized. Do you remember this? It was like a Jesus.
2015, where Lindy recorded her album.
Yeah, he really had the feeling of the start of a Jesus movement. That night was so powerful. Well, you and Todd baptized Joshua, my youngest son, and I have that on film, and he's 18 now. He was 15 then, and he's getting ready to launch out and just start really reaching high schools and wanting to work with you. And it's just the world is, the effect that you guys have had on kids. And here's my own son, like his life was never the same after that Todd White night and that baptism. He was completely a different kid. And so, man, Brian, just from a dad, I wonder how many other dads or moms are out there that are so grateful for One Voice, for what you guys do, that have changed kids, completely radically changed, and you don't even know the stories. You haven't even heard what's going on. You're just hearing a little bit about Josh. How many other thousands of Joshes are out there that have been touched by your family in these last years of faithfulness? I mean, I just want to say that out loud. It's incredible being part of One Voice.
Thank you, man, so much. I remember taking your son and Andy's son at First 21 Project to a liquor store to get Twinkies down the street in Pasadena, and they were just little boys. I remember I think we went for like a walk or something, and I wasn't even married yet. And I've been so marked, man. I think every time we think of you, like I'll never forget what you told me. It was so profound. You told me once, because I if you guys don't know who are watching, like I grew up with a broken family. I grew up from a divorced home, and that obviously caused a lot of father wounds in my life and different things like that. And I remember when I met Brian, one of the key things that always stuck with me was you said, hey, there's going to be moments where you feel like distant, or there's going to be moments where you think you're like, just get those thoughts out of your mind. Like fathers love you. We love you. We're so proud. And I've always felt like trumpeted by you. You've always made me feel welcomed in the awkward meetings. Cause I always feel like when whether it's an event or a gathering, when I go there, I just feel kind of awkward because I'm not this old Don, and but I'm also not a high school kid. I'm kind of this weird middle person, and and so I just we're grateful, man, for you and what you guys have been in our lives.
Man, Brian, it's so great. It's going to be a season for you when all this starts to break out. We keep believing that there's going to be a high school outpouring in the nation, and it's going to be the largest wave we've ever seen. When we looked at our tour, we reached 4 times more high school kids, I think, than college students. The salvation among high school students was like, again, 4 to 1, as many. And so, you're sitting on this gold mine. Then there's such a power on your ministry, and there's such a love on your ministry. And so we were praying last night, Christy and I, and she goes, I literally can feel the sensation of a wave hitting my body. The high schools in America are about ready to come into one of those unprecedented harvest seasons. So I can't wait till we can trumpet more the Jesus clubs at the Send, and just really see how many pastors could jump on from every state. How many pastors are part of Jesus clubs, in this last season? Churches.
Yeah.
It's like in the hundreds.
Yeah,
Isn't it now?
It's been crazy. And even now, like, we're taking advantage of the quarantine. We've broken down our trainings now. They're so simple. We do pastor, teacher, and student. And so we train the three, because those are the three components you'll actually need. So before, we were like, let's just train a pastor. We're like, no, let's train a high school kid. Let's give that high school kid the resources. Let's give them the graphics. Let's teach them how to go and start a club. If you go on Instagram, you type in the Jesus clubs, you won't just see LA. People have literally taken our logo, because we have a whole new branding now. It's like Jesus, and then instead of fish and bread, it's donuts and pizza. And
I love it.
There's a whole brand, and people have taken our logos, stripped them, and it's amazing. It's like the Jesus Club Virginia, the Jesus Club Waco High School, the Jesus Club. There's 3 Jesus clubs in Kona right now.
Really?
Yes, they're active. It's not like there's just an Instagram page in faith. Like, I love that there's no, like, they're not prophetic clubs, they're not in faith clubs, they're actually doing it. The Ramp in Alabama, they just started the Jesus Club with One Voice. Obviously they're social now, so what we're seeing is, I felt like at the Send in Orlando, which you really helped us have a voice at the Send Orlando. I'll never forget what the Lord spoke to me right before we went up. He said, today I'm going to put high schools on the missions map. And I felt like for so many years, when we would do Roosevelt together back in the day, I have pictures of you guys, Jake Mason, Lindy, Chloe, Sammy, before, when we were on that school, I felt like God brought us together and he gave us a taste of what was to come. And I remember the first time you, me, Lou, and Todd were all in one room was in Northridge. And it was at the beginning of, Lindy was still Lindy Conut. She wasn't Kofri yet. And, Chloe was still, she was still a Brent. I mean, there was so many things that have shifted and changed. But I felt like it's been building, and it's been crazy.
Man, Brian, what an honor, dude. I'm serious. I'm so excited about what's about to happen, man. Get this pandemic out of here, bro. Pray that thing out of here for us, would you?
Yes.
I know we're all praying. All right, what else does Marcelo got cooked up, bro? I'm ready.
Marcella wants to ask, what are the future plans, or what do you feel like is going to happen with stadium gatherings? I know it's a big one. We really feel like you're the prophet of prophets. So what would you say is going to happen to all the stadium events that are planned for the rest of the next 5 years? Like, as this continues, obviously there's unknowns, but what are you sensing? You're one of the main collaborators with the Send. What have you been kind of sensing? What have you guys been filling out?
Well, here, this is a funny story, and you can relate to this. Is so all the some of the different ones came, and this is probably 1.5 years ago, and they're so excited about Orlando. Orlando's going to sell out. I was excited, and so they're like, let's grab Christy and pray about what do we do after Orlando. And Christy comes down in the office, and she's not healed yet, so we bring her down there, and she's like, she goes to the whiteboard and she goes, okay, after Orlando, there's I don't know, something might happen, a little Brazil moment or something, but pause. There's going to be 2 pauses. Then and then a Send, and then after that Send, training will break out like you can't imagine. And so the pause was we were going to do Argentina, April 25th. That got canceled. Arrowhead's still in the mix. There's a pause. And then there's going to be a detonation and an explosion like we haven't seen. It feel like what the Lord's saying is he's creating hunger. Don't you feel that, Brian? He's, even among the lost, he's creating hunger. So I think there's going to be a greater salvation aspect to the future. I think this is where men like yourself are going to come into some of the things God has spoken to you about, even, high school stadiums filled, larger outreaches, because there's going to be such a hunger. doesn't it feel like it's kind of a setup before the release?
Yeah, I feel like there, in America, when I went to Brazil, I felt like, man, there's hunger here because people know they need God. But
Yeah,
in America, it was so hard to find because I feel like people don't feel like they need God.
that's right.
Well, when every job is out, when Disney shuts down, when the
Oh man.
NBA shuts down, when the
Oh man.
NFL, I mean, it's literally everyone is in the same. I had a guy come to my door, Hispanic guy, knocked on and said, "I have a lawn company. I have no work. Can I pick your weeds?
Wow.
Will you just pay me?" And he literally, as he's talking, he starts picking my weeds. I'm like, how can I say no to this guy? And I live next door to a teacher who teaches 11th grade and 12th grade history, who's home every day. I'm giving him burgers over the fence now. And I feel like God has stopped me from nations, and he's forcing me to go to my neighbors. But it's creating now this hunger and desperation for God, even if they don't know it. So I think where the stadiums, in my sense, even as we're talking and hearing you, I feel like the stadiums might even shift from just being saved, gathering to go, to being saved and the lost. There might be double the amount of people where we're not just going by ourselves to be activated. We're bringing 20 of our neighbors. I feel like if there was an event in LA, I could literally invite Rodrigo because I've been giving him burgers for the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And where before I never would have talked to Rodrigo. I would have been traveling. I would have been gone. I would have said hi and bye. Every day we're talking. And I could tell this guy doesn't know Jesus. I could easily say, hey, dude, we're having a stadium here. Come with me. And because I filled his belly, I feel like he's been prepped for his heart to be filled.
Come on, Brian. That's it. That's it. You feel that setup. There's this old word that Bob Jones, that old guy that died, prophet, and he said that there was going to be rest right before the harvest of the billion soul youth harvest. And he said that like 5, 7, I don't know, many years ago. And he said in 2020 we'd have a little bit of rest, and then the harvest would begin. So I think people like yourself that are so positioned in the field of the lost, high school students, so much favor, connections, true authentic relationships you've built. They weren't built out of ministry professionalism. They're built out of gritty love.
True.
It's like a kindling wood, Brian. It's going to blow up. So I want you to know I'm going to still carry your bag. I'll carry the oil. I want the audience to know Brian has a huge oil vat that I carry around his public ministry.
No. People need y'all think you've heard Brian Brennt on his Monday nights. He's okay on a Monday night. Where Brian Brennt really flourishes is right after lunch, afternoon sessions and conferences.
That's exactly it. 1 o'clock, baby.
The 1 o'clock sessions is where it flows so much. I'd love to maybe ask you, I know we're kind of a little bit all over, but I one of the big things that me and my wife have been inspired by you by is your view of marriage and health. And one of the things I admire the most of you is that all your kids serve the Lord. And what would you say like now for young fathers who are getting involved in ministry and people that are doing ministry with families? What is the key thing to remember? I know you tell a story of you making lemonade for Christy's Bible study.
Sure.
Bringing lemonade. What do you say, like, as a man, if there's men that are going to watch this or are watching, what should be our roles as we're doing all this amazing stuff? What is the role for us in our home, and how should we be stewarding our home?
Oh, man, Brian, that's a big question, but let me give you a super simple answer. So Christy and I, we're just kids, Nick's born, just kind of getting the family started, and we're praying together, and I said, Christy, I really want to be a man that our sons, our daughter, to be, would have someone to follow, someone to be inspired by. And she looked at me and she goes, you need to live by faith. If you would live by faith, you would give them a model that was so much like the Bible, such an adventure, so much fun, that they would never turn their back on Jesus. But if you go more of a conservative, kind of easy way, they won't have a hero. She goes, if you could be the hero of the family and a hero to their hearts, they'll never turn back because they'll go, Jesus is the greatest. And I think that's been my simple coaching philosophy is I kind of keep reaching out, live by faith, Nothing's impossible. God's going to come through. They've seen him move so many times. Been broke, finances, souls won, stadiums filled, albums launched, whatever it is. Jesus always shows up. So my kids, they don't want to do anything else. They've experienced, it's like they've tasted it. They felt it. It's part of them versus like a religious formal relationship with your kids where you're like, little Brian, would you read your Bible and come over here? Let me pray over you. That kind of works some, but when they see dad like in the living room crying out to God, and then they join dad, and then they see the miracle of what you cried out for together, even at 6 and 7 years old, they go, man,
Wow.
Jesus is the best. That's what they'd say, like, Jesus is the greatest.
That's so good, man.
It's wild.
Yeah. And I think just in closing, I'd love to know, like, what's the remedy for hard times? Because I'm pretty sure that your life just hasn't always been stadiums. It hasn't always been a crew that's so down and crazy in Huntington. Like, what would you say for people that are enduring rough patches, or like maybe their ministry's not where they want it to be? Maybe they're reaching, the guy at Walmart when God told them they fill stadiums, and the only thing they're filling is their grocery basket right now. Like,
oh wow,
what would you say, like, to those people that are like, I feel stuck. I'm like struggling. It's difficult. Okay. I don't see the things God's promised me. Like, what would you tell them?
Man, this is going to be so simple, but the only way I survived Christy's Lyme's disease was just knowing Jesus. And I'm telling you, I'd be vacuuming the house for her, doing all this stuff, and I'd hear the Lord's voice. He'd show me Bible verses. So it really is reverse. Almost like ministry is the hardest thing to do, but knowing Jesus is the easiest thing to do.
Wow.
So I think for people that have been so busy ministering, they get a little break right now and get back to home plate of relationships. So it's not like they're in trouble or did something wrong. They've been heroes, but now they're getting a chance to go deeper. So that's how I made it, bro. Just hard times. I always feel like I'm David. I know I'm not, but I always go, God, I'm like David. I'm going to kill Goliath. I'm going to win. You just got to believe that you're part of the story of Jesus and you're in that family. So, man, that's awesome, dude. And it's so fun to be on Instagram, bro. I feel like I'm with a celebrity today.
Oh no, it's just the picture. You got to really see the setup, dude. It's pretty funny. So on accident, sometimes I'll flip the camera. You just see, like, I call it my prophetic gym. I haven't used it yet, but it's sitting there. It's like, bro. This part looks good, but it's a garage.
Okay. Well, I love you, Brian. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
we're cheering you on. Let us know anything you need. Just send me a text. Whatever we can do, I can bring you some steaks.
Yeah. When this all blows over, man, you got to come over for a barbecue. So
let's do it. Okay, I love you, Brian.
I love you, Brian. We'll see you.
See you.